It's that time again, Alex, for my favorite episode almost of the entire year because it's a roundup of things we love.
It is things we love. And I feel like every year we have to say, we really love our families. We love
Yes.
God. These things may seem a little trivial. And
And
this
they
isn't,
are.
yes, this isn't meant to be the deepest, most intense episode of the year. It's meant to be fun. So I always like to give that little caveat.
Well, and it's Valentine's Day and it kind of feels fun. And yeah, let's talk about some practical, fun things we love.
Yes. And this year, the episode's going up a few days before Valentine's Day. So if you're a gift giving kind of family, it may give you an idea of something you could either do with your family or ask for a Valentine's gift. We're not a real huge gift giving couple, I should say. I was going to say family, but my kids get showered with gifts every single holiday.
Yeah.
So that my kids get Valentine's gifts. I mean, we've bought into American consumerism and we do that. But my husband and I are not big gift givers to each other.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well, so let's jump in. And I
Okay.
know that you did something kind of fun the other day with your family. And so let's go to favorite movies.
Okay. I will say, as a family of 6 living on a budget, we do not go to the movies as a family because, hello, we have Netflix. And
Yeah,
if we wait 3
exactly.
months, it'll come. However, someone did give us a little gift card that we hadn't used for a year. And I was like, we need to go to the movies. And guess what came out? Little Women.
Mm-hmm.
And our family is the modern day Little Women. So
You are.
I made us go. It was maybe the 2 days after Christmas. It was one of those days where there wasn't a whole lot going on. It was snowing here in Denver. And I made everybody go to Little Women. And I loved it. Of course
I've
I
heard
did.
all the moms love it.
Yes, I loved it. My husband liked it. My 2 younger kids. I knew, you know your kids. And out of the 4, I knew the one that was going to love it the most, and she totally did. And the other one kind of went along with it. And the teenagers were like, it was okay, though they were checking the time. It's a little long. It's a longish movie.
Uh-huh.
But this is what I loved about it as a mom. Of course, the book Little Women, but it was an all-female star cast and it was clean.
Amen. Amen. It's so hard to find.
And it wasn't animated.
Totally.
It was entertaining for the adults in the room, and it was appropriate for all ages. It was a little confusing, the storyline, because they did this like go back in time thing that the book doesn't actually do. But overall, A+++ on Little Women.
So fun.
Okay. Yeah. Then we were like, well, that was so amazing. We're going to go to the movies again. So
just the moviegoers, the
just
Kuykendalls, the moviegoers.
But this time it was just with our older 2 girls because our younger 2 were with cousins overnight. And we went to see the movie Just Mercy.
Yeah, I'd been wanting to see that.
So my oldest daughter read it this year for school. And so she was open to going to see it. But part of what I wanted to do with both of these movies is, our money talks. And Hollywood gives us, the audience, what we ask for. And
totally,
the way we ask for it is to pay for it. And so my commitment is I am going to go see movies in the theater that I want to send the message, this is the kind of movie I want more of.
Yeah, that's so great.
That was part of why we didn't wait for it to come on Netflix and just watch it on a Saturday night, starting at 10 at night, and everybody's kind of half asleep. We went and we watched it, and it was amazing. I think every adult and every teenager in this country should see that movie. I mean, read the book too, but if you're not going to read the book, see the movie. It was just amazing. So Just Mercy. Those are my 2 movie recommendations that I'm loving, that I actually saw in a movie theater where we paid full price tickets.
So great. Well, and I have not seen this, but I also heard that Peanut Butter Falcon is amazing. Mm-hmm. My mom cannot stop talking about it.
Yeah. And that is available now because we've looked at it to rent on Amazon Prime and Netflix right now. So I don't think it's in theaters anymore.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. So how about something kind of fun? Cosmetics, all those fun girly things. What are you loving this February, Krista?
Okay. Well, I've been wearing the same lipstick all year, and it is the lipstick that literally goes with everything. And you know how I feel about lipstick. I've said this before. I'll say it again. You will not find me hardly ever without lipstick because I love it. And this color is a long wear color. And so it stays on a long time, and it goes pretty much with every skin tone and with all clothes. So it is the Kat Von D Everlasting Liquid Lipstick, and the color is Lolita. Have you heard of that?
No.
Okay.
But that sounds great because why do you want to put on lipstick 10 times a day?
Right.
When you can just put it on once.
Yeah. And especially this color, it's like got enough color to make it fun, but it's also kind of subtle. Just love it. Okay. The other thing I'm really liking is I have made the switch to all natural nail polish.
Okay. Why?
Did you say why? Okay, say it again.
Okay, why?
Well, because I've read some things about your nail beds and how much they absorb whatever is on them. They're super absorbent, porous. And so I just decided last year I switched to all natural deodorant, and I've been using the Native brand, which I really like. And then this year, my switch was to all natural nail polish because the other nail polishes I've learned are so toxic. So I have switched also to an all natural Zoya nail polish remover as well. And the colors are great, and they stay on as long as the others, and I love it. The only thing you may have to do is you may have to still do a regular top coat to keep it on longer. But other than that, it's not hitting, the inside of your nail bed. So I feel like the top coat, you could probably do a normal top coat. And don't you have a favorite top coat?
Not these days. I wish I did.
Yeah, I usually look forward to your nail polish update.
No, I'm in a slump. I'm going to go natural. I'm going natural because why wouldn't you? And just to make a note, we have all of these things in our show notes linked. So you don't have to be pulling the car over right now to write down the Zoya nail polish. You can just go to the show notes for this episode and it will be linked there. Okay. Krista, what else in the cosmetic world?
Well, I have been wearing Bombshell Perfume from Victoria's Secret for a long time now. And since they came out with it, and I actually really love it. It's just this beautiful scent. I have to say, okay, we may or may not want to include this.
Well, wait a minute. I need to get something out of I just bought some Victoria's Secret perfume, and I'm wondering if it's the same.
Okay.
Bombshell, get out. I had no idea. Victoria's Secret Bombshell Holiday is what I have.
Oh, so you bought the holiday spray.
Yeah, I did because it was on clearance in January.
Yeah, I saw that on clearance. I bought a couple. They're awesome. I mean, Bombshell is just such a great scent. And Victoria's Secret does their scents well. I will just say, though, I really take offense to their materials that they send in the mail and have all over the store. The visuals. And so I am adamant about them not putting me on their mailing list because I have 3 sons at home and I don't want that stuff coming in the mail. So I never order online. I always go in the store so that I don't get on their mailing list.
Yeah.
It's one of my things. I you know how you support going to movies? I have to strategically figure out how to not buy things online so they come in the mail. And that's like my stand.
No, I understand. I'm not on their mailing list anymore. I used to be. But yeah, that's definitely in the trash. Okay, what's next?
Okay, we can cut that if
no, but judgy. I just can't believe that we both have Bombshell right now. That's what I've been using.
Yeah. Okay. We're going to be
twinsies.
Yeah, we're going to be smelling so good together when we're together.
Okay.
Okay. And then my sister gave me something for my birthday that came straight from the professional hairstylist. And it is the Opalex Hair Perfector. It's called it's Hair Perfector. Opalex is a brand that I know Nordstrom's carrying it, but you can also get it at like specialty beauty supply stores. And I don't think Sally's has it, but I think the more specialty ones do. But I know you can order it online as well. And it is kind of the rage. It supposedly does amazing things. I will let you know. My birthday wasn't that long ago. But the hair perfector, you put it on for like 10 minutes and then you rinse it off. But it's supposed to do wonders.
Like what kind of wonders? Like makes it smooth or?
Yeah. And like really hydrated and soft and just
Luscious.
conditions it really well. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm
Okay.
excited about trying the Opalex brands. And then my sister also gave me the Glossier birthdaybalm.com. And Glossier it's definitely become a little bit of a rage for their lip colors. And I have to say, I really do like it.
Yeah. Yeah. I have
Have
a
you
daughter
tried
who's
it?
into it. No, I haven't, but I've heard of it. I've been on their website,
Mm-hmm.
but I haven't tried it.
Okay. Do you have a favorite cosmetic these days?
Well, I mean, kind of with the nail polish. I'm in a slump right now, so I am open to suggestions, but here is my dilemma. My hair is getting grayer and grayer by the day, it feels like, and I am not yet ready to go gray. No need to email me. I'm just not yet ready.
Right.
But it is those times in between getting my hair done, it's becoming a little more difficult to manage. So my sister-in-law gave me the Batiste dry shampoo for dark hair. It's tinted. And I've tried this before, but I am trying it again to try to get those gray roots covered. It works better than anything else I have found, but it's still, it comes off in like, my hair doesn't hold things well. So it comes off within an hour. So
within an hour. That's bad news.
I know. So this is my request. If you are a dark-haired woman out there and you know some trick, I have tried everything I've ever heard. The only thing that has truly worked is good old-fashioned mascara.
Yes.
Using a mascara wand, but it does make my hair really nasty. I mean, hello, you're putting like goop in your hair. But if anybody has any other tips, I'm open to them.
So you've tried the root color cover, like you apply with your finger?
Not with your finger. I tried the crayon that Annie Paget suggested.
Just a second. Hold on. I'm going to get it. Okay. I've got two suggestions. Have you tried the Style Edit Root Touch-Up?
No. Can I get it on Amazon?
I don't know. I get it from my hairstylist, but
okay.
It's like a cream and you just apply it and it does stay on.
Okay.
So Style Edit, Root, Touch Up. And then the other little tip that I heard someone say the other day, but you've probably tried this one, is putting eyeshadow.
Mm-hmm. Same thing. That. It works temporarily. Mm-hmm. But I've got a full day I got to live with these.
Right. I got a full day I need to cover my gray up with. Okay.
Okay. So that's my problem. Anyway, that's all I've got to offer in this department.
Okay. What about accessories? Do you have any favorite accessories this year?
Well, because all things cool that I have are things that people have given me. Our friend Micah Hunter gave us both this key ring that she said was one of Oprah's favorite things. So that right there means it's really cool. And it's this big ring, plastic, but sparkly and
silicone.
pretty.
Silicone.
Oh, see? Silicone ring. And it's gold and sparkly and pretty that you attach your car key to. Well, in my case, my car key. And so when you have a big old purse, it's easier to find your key when you put your hand in. And it works. I have a messy purse.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So I got the same one from our beloved Micah Hunter. And I love it so much. And you know what? Every day when I'm at the gym, I just slip it on like a bracelet, walk into the gym, hang it with my coat, slip it, I mean, it's
Mhm.
just so easy. It's so
Mhm.
easy. And you're never looking around for your keys anymore.
It is. It's magic. So I would say
I
that's a
love it
great
so
thing.
much. It's
Mhm.
it's probably my top favorite thing that I love of 2020. I'm not kidding. I love it so much.
Yeah, it is pretty amazing. And
Well,
so
because how many times do we get in and out of the car?
a million.
A million.
Hmm. A million. And how many times have my kids been mad at me because I can't find my keys while they're waiting in the cold? Now they don't. It's relational. This is
Mhm.
like, it doesn't just change the key situation, it changes whole relationships. Okay, Krista, what else?
Okay, sorry. I had to look at it for a second. Okay, well, I got a new winter hat.
You did.
I like accessories.
Hmm.
Accessories are one of my things. I just like them. And here's the problem. My sister, my brother, and I, we all tend to have larger heads. And so going to Target and just picking up their regular hat, it fits, but I'll have a headache after an hour of wearing it. And so I found this fantastic brand called Connor Handmade Hats. Okay, I'm going to put it on for you. I actually brought it so you can see it.
Oh,
What do you
look at
think?
you. You look like a Western wonder.
Well, so it's like a little like ski winter, like fun. Like you'd think this was like straight out of Sun Valley. Well, and it is. I mean, this is like, I think they carry them in like mountain ski towns, like Aspen, Breckenridge. I'm sure all of them have this, Utah. But it's just such a fun little hat, and you can order it in whatever size you want, and it's so cute.
Oh, it comes in sizes because we're a big-headed family too.
Mm-hmm.
And same thing. Like I can't even wear sunglasses without getting a headache because my head's so wide. Like, who
Yes.
knew?
Well, and yeah, I love hats, especially in the
Mhm.
winter when it's often snowing or ice raining like today. And your hair is going to be toast, right? After like walking to and from places. And yet a hat looks so cute and fun. So there you go.
Okay.
There you go.
It is cute.
Okay, thanks.
Well, you also are a gift giver. So what gifts are you liking to give right now? Favorite
Well,
things you
one
love?
of the things that we gave for Christmas, which I thought was a fun gift, but again, this is not new, but sometimes it's new to give as a gift, is ancestry.com. So we even
Mhm.
gave it to my husband's partners in
Mhm.
his business.
Mhm.
We gave that as a gift to them this year, and they thought that was really fun, and they hadn't done it. And so I think a lot of people hear about it, but not everybody has actually done it.
Mhm.
And so that was really fun. And it's just it's really interesting how, now granted, you have to be aware that you may discover some things if you do sign up for ancestry.com. Like I
Mhm.
just saw a post of a friend, and she said on Facebook, this is one of the happiest days of my life. Through ancestry.com, my daughter found the baby I gave up 38 years ago.
Mhm.
Amazing.
It is. And it's a good tool for people who are looking for somebody.
Yeah.
As a person who has done it and has not wanted, because I have a really kind of off kilter family history, you can put privacy settings and not put yourself out there too.
Yeah, that's good to know.
Yeah.
Because
So,
it does. It brings out the skeletons sometimes. So that's
mhm.
just something to be aware of. And then the other gift that I've been really loving to give is the Breville Frother.
Mhm.
Who doesn't love a little froth in their coffee or tea or whatever? You can just make all sorts of fun drinks, and people don't tend to buy those things for themselves because it's just an extra that most people don't buy. And so I really like giving it as a gift.
Mhm. Yeah, that's a great gift. I received a gift recently from our friend Sarah Harmeyer when she came to visit. She left on our kitchen island because she left the house after we did. This little teapot. It's like a 2-person size white ceramic teapot, And on the front, it says together. And I just love it because it
Cute.
symbolizes Sarah. She's so about people being together, but just friendship. She lives far away from me. And so I think about it all the time. And we drink a lot of tea in the winter. It's probably when we drink tea. It's probably true of a lot of people. But we're using it right now. It's so it's cute and functional. And I love that. And it reminds me of her.
Fun. Yeah. So nice.
Yeah.
Okay. And then we actually had a gathering of a bunch of our mastermind groups this year, and we gave some really fun earrings out.
Mm-hmm.
Are those one of your favorite things?
They are one of my favorite things. And I think what surprised me is how much people loved receiving them. They were they're leather and gold and pretty and kind of go with everything. And so they're nothing like super snazzy, but people thought they were so fun. And it reminds me that accessories are a fun thing to give, especially if they're neutralish, because often if you give something, someone thinks, I'll never wear that. But those seem to be a big hit. And I have seen people wearing them out in the wild, people who received them from us. So I know people are wearing them too.
Okay, hold on. I need to find the name of that. Do you have it off the top of your
No,
head?
that's why I put those question marks, because
So the company that did those for us is Tenfold Collective. And Tenfold Collective is a business that sells jewelry, but also fights trafficking.
So those are available online if people want to go purchase them.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So, sorry, I'm looking it up. Okay. Let me just say this again. I think it's just tenfoldcollective.com. Okay. Yeah. So it's Tenfold Collective, and they are a shopping and retail company that fights sex trafficking. And so it's out of South Carolina. They have beautiful, beautiful products, but they also help the world. So they're on trend, on mission is what they say, which is fun. I love that.
Mm-hmm. That is fun.
Okay. What about, oh no, you ask.
Okay. Krista, this has been a big year of home for you and decorating and remodeling. What have been some of your favorite things as you've been going through this process of home decor and remodel?
Well, I have to say, I really appreciate the Hand and Hearth line at Target. And I feel like what Magnolia has done, what Joanna Gaines has done, is she has made really, really great home decor affordable for people. And I appreciate that a lot, because I think a lot of times we feel like it has to be Pottery Barn for it to be really on trend, and it doesn't. It can be from Target. And so I really love her black dishes that Target is carrying, the Hand and Hearth Magnolia line. They are so beautiful, and they're just really fun, and they're fresh, and they're durable, and it's great. And I'm telling you, I know if dishes are durable because we wear things hard in our house, and I have boys that do dishes every day. And so if they can survive the Gilbert boys, they can survive anything. And then I also am loving Magnolia's olive branches that you can order online, but I really like those big, big vases that you can get at TJ Maxx or Home Goods or whatever. But then it's like, well, what do you put in them? And that doesn't shed everywhere. And, because sometimes I like to do natural sticks and things, but then what I really like to do is mix that with the Magnolia olive branches. So those are really fun. And then I'd say my last thing is World Market sometimes you just need a really big object for a wall because you don't want a bunch of stuff on there, but it's always hard to find the right color. Well, World Market has this clock. It's a ginormous clock, but it's turquoise and brown. It just doesn't go with our colors. And so I just spray painted it black, and you can see it. Alex, can you see it right there? Look how cute it is.
Oh yeah, it is cute. Very cute.
It fills the whole wall, and it works, and it's a great price, and you just spray paint it whatever color you want it.
Oh, it's cute and fun, and spray paint.
Yeah, spray paint. I mean, if you like turquoise and brown, then keep it turquoise and brown. But it's just that whole idea that we can find things and then make it fit for what you want it, to look like.
To modify it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Sorry.
How about apps? Have you gotten on board with any apps?
I have to say that, again, Micah Hunter suggested that I use Lightroom, or just in general, that's a good app to prepare pictures for Instagram, to have a consistent look in your Instagram feed. And so I have downloaded the app. I have yet to use it. It is my aspirational app. I plan to get it going, but you have to choose your settings, and then you can kind of have consistent settings is the idea. As far as light, dark, all that, warm,
and you
cold.
can do presets. So you can buy presets and then choose whatever preset you want and keep choosing that preset, and then they all look similar.
Right. So I think, Krista, you actually do use Lightroom as opposed to me, who has it on my phone and I don't use it.
Yeah, we've been using it for the sisterhood for a long time, and I've just recently started using it on more personal pictures, but I really like it. And I think the presets are great. And they're kind of no-brainer. They just make your pictures. Then you don't have to worry so much about that your lighting's dark or whatever, because it just lightens everything. Well, I would say for me, the two apps that I've been using a lot, the first one is called Dwell. And it is an app where you listen to scripture. So it has a little music behind it, and they have different voices you can pick. So you can even pick what voice you like, and you can pick a plan. So right now I am doing the plan that is, and again, this is not like, I don't see it as I have to do the plan in 3 months, but it's read the Bible in 3 months. I don't think I'm going to make it. I mean, it's just too much to listen to every day, but I don't care if it's not 3 months. I'm still doing the plan, and however long it takes me is however long it takes me. So I just enjoy that. And they also have one, and I've done this a few times and I like it a lot, is it's like right before bed, and you can just put on one of their plans where you just listen to scripture right before you go to sleep. And so you can just kind of have it on, and there's music in the background. It's very meditative and relaxing. I like it a lot.
That's good.
And then the other one is Hours Tracker. And that is an app that allows you to track how long it's taking you to do things. But I've also been using it because lately I have needed some extra help with some things. And so I've been hiring my teenagers to do that. And so they are using Hours Tracker to track their hours. And it's been really fun. It's been great.
That's great. Yeah, we had a driving app that was similar to that because in Colorado, kids have to drive a certain number of hours to get their license. So kind of same idea, but that was really specific to driving. But why not track hours for all kinds of things?
Yeah.
If you know you need to do a minimum of whatever for. Yeah. Well, those are good. Those are handy.
Okay. How about favorite podcasts?
Well, my husband and I have started listening to The Holy Post, which is Phil Vischer's podcast.
Oh, VeggieTales.
So Phil Vischer is the creator of VeggieTales, which that sounds a little weird that he has a podcast. It used to be called the Phil Vischer Podcast. And he co-hosts it with Sky Jitani, I think that's how you pronounce his name, who used to work for Christianity Today, and it's now called The Holy Post. They had an episode, and I'll link to this in the show notes, that went up in December or early January around the Christianity Today opinion that Mark Galley wrote about impeachment.
Oh,
And it was kind of a big thing right at the end of the year. It was December. Anyway, it's turned out to be their most popular episode ever. And what they did in that episode is they gave a history of the evangelical church in America. And we learned so much. We are people who call ourselves evangelical, and we learned a lot about the history of the movement in the church and the misunderstanding and the misperceptions. We've both listened to it twice because it's this particular episode. So anyway, that got us kind of hooked on this particular podcast, and they're very knowledgeable about the church. And then they talk a lot about current events and what's happening in the news and churches and that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Okay. I'm going to interrupt you.
So we started listening to it for that particular episode, and we've listened to it twice. And that episode talked about really more than the controversy, the history of the evangelical church in America. And I call myself an evangelical, and I did not know a lot of the history of the movement and really the difference between evangelicalism and fundamentalism, and how the two often get confused, and why they get confused, and how they're actually very different. So that, anyway, it got us hooked on the Holy Post podcast. Now we listen to it a lot.
Well, I think Phil Vischer is so brilliant. I mean, he also did What's in the Bible with Buck Denver, and I learned more about the Bible through that cartoon than I have ever. And I mean, not ever, but I just learned so much history in depth, and I'm just amazed at how he can make it so appealing and yet so intelligent. I think that's what I love about it. He doesn't dumb things down, even though it's a cartoon. It's so intelligent, and the humor is intelligent too.
Yeah. And he is a little bit wacky. So sometimes you're like, oh, there's the VeggieTales side of him in the podcast.
Yes.
And I did want to give a shout out to two podcasts that have started in the last few months by guests that we've had in the last year on our podcast. And that is Vivian Mabuni started a podcast titled Someday is Here, and it's about the Asian American experience. And then Catherine Freeman, who was on the podcast, I think in November, with her friend Faith, they have a brand new podcast called Melanated Faith. And it's about, I think based on the title, it's about being an African-American Christian today. So they're just starting, so I haven't really listened to it, but I'm excited to listen to that.
Well, and the other one I also want to give a shout out to is Francie Winslow's new podcast, Heaven in Your Home. And that is a lot about sex and about really how we can, I'm trying to pull up her tagline. Hold on, let me pause it. Well, I also want to give a shout out to Francie Winslow's new podcast, Heaven in Your Home. And it's about a lot of aspects of home and marriage, but it especially focuses around sex and God's design for sex. So she has episodes that say like the science of sex, rethinking sex, recovering a biblical lens, the ripple effect of sex, why sex matters, especially when you don't feel like it, things like that. So it's eye-opening. I mean, you and I have talked about Francie before, and her perspective is shifting.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to say anything about her?
Her perspective is shifting.
That could have been interpreted too many ways. Her perspective is mind shifting for many, and including myself. I had that experience when I listened to her talk. It changed the way I thought about things.
Yeah. And I've listened to that episode on the science of sex that she has on there, and I would say that's a good starting place for people who are kind of interested in what exactly is she talking about, because it shows how our bodies are designed to respond to each other and how that's part of God's design for marriage, and why sex is part of the marriage covenant, because we respond and we bond to each other in a unique way when we have sex. And so it really is life-changing if you start to understand the ripple effect that your sex life can have on your marriage and your home and your family. And that's, I always say that she talks about how sex changes the world. And it's so, anyway, if that's not intriguing, I don't know what is.
Yeah, it's just interesting. Okay, what about a favorite tip? Do you have a favorite tip right now?
You know, I feel like I'm a hot mess a lot of the time. But our friend Morgan Tyree, did I freeze?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I feel like I'm a hot mess a lot of the time. So I need lots of help from other people. Morgan Tyree was on the podcast with us this beginning of the summer, and we talked about her book. Remind me of the title.
Take back your time.
Take back your time. Take back your time. So it's a time blocking method where you assess what tasks need to get done, and then you look at the time available in your day and you match tasks with the time that you have. And so the whole idea is, for me, if I need some time where I really need thinking and quiet, and I need to dig into a project, a work project, for example, that's how I should be using my big chunks of time. Whereas something like unloading the dishwasher, even though I feel like I have an hour's worth of housework, if I can break those chores up into 10-minute, 5-minute segments, then I kind of have this running list of, oh, I've got 10 minutes. Let me pick one of the things off of this list to do. And that frees up my big chunks of time to be more productive. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. And like, I can be doing that task while my kids are home, whereas I can't be doing deep thinking when my kids are home because it's too distracting. So that's right. So then you can say, okay, well, while they're sitting doing homework, I'm going to be unloading the dishwasher.
Right. Exactly. So she uses the example of like texting people back or making a phone call, and you can do that while you're waiting in line at carpool. But you can't be unloading the dishwasher, for example. So even the small tasks, like what are the things that I can do when I'm waiting somewhere that uses that time more productively?
It's good.
Okay. What about you, Krista? What's a helpful tip?
One tip that I've been really appreciating is stapling your receipt to the tag of the item that you've purchased. And so that way, if you have to take it back, you know where the receipt is, because that's such a pain.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a great tip.
So you just keep a stapler just right there when you walk in the door, and you just staple things.
Yep.
Easy.
Easy peasy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let's move on to music. Do you have some stuff you're listening to right now?
Yeah, we're really music focused in our house. I mean, in all kinds of music. So my kids they love Spotify. They love making playlists on Spotify. They have tons of them. It's kind of one of our things is music. So we always have music going. I would say for me, one of my favorite artists that I have discovered this year is Chris Renzema. And he is a Christian artist, but he's very poetic in his lyrics and has substance. And I just like him so much. He's a singer-songwriter type, and I am loving his music. And then I would say 2 songs that I really like right now is Coming Home by House Fires and Waymaker by Leland. So love those 2 songs.
Yeah.
But Coming Home, so beautiful. It has a lyric. It says, I feel like I'm coming home for the first time in a long time. And it's talking about really coming home spiritually. And it's just so beautiful.
Yeah.
I really love it.
Yeah. Waymaker is pretty popular right now.
Waymaker is, I mean, that's
It should
more
be.
like, yeah, right.
Yeah. I'm glad it is.
I have a lot of people who are holding on to that song,
Mhm.
Waymaker, actually, who are in a hard season and really need hope and are desperate for God to come through for them. And I feel like that song's been really inspirational for them.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll admit I've cried through it a few times in the last couple of weeks. It's good. Music can speak to our souls in a very incredible way.
Well, and a lot of times if I have a friend going through something, I'll send them a song instead of a text. And that's a lot of times more powerful because there's something about the lyrics and the music that just really like touches us deeply. So it's helpful. Okay. How about you sometimes really love things you come across on YouTube and videos and stuff.
Yes,
So,
I have a favorite conversation. This is how I'm saying it. A conversation I'm loving. Even though I heard it in person, I was there when it was recorded in November in DC. It is an interview with Russell Moore, who I have mentioned in Things I Love in the past. He's a favorite Twitter follow for me, of the ERLC. And then Cherie Harder, who is the head of the Trinity Forum. They were interviewed by Michael Ware, who, well, I don't really know his title, but he's an author and I follow him on Twitter. But he interviewed them on the subject of civil discourse. And it was at an event for immigration, but they actually don't talk about immigration at all. It really is about how do we talk about things that we disagree about. And they used a few examples from the immigration conversation that's happening nationally, but really it is about how Christians are called to a different standard than the rest of the world in how we speak to people who believe and think differently than we do, and even fellow believers who think differently and come to different conclusions than we do. And I feel like we need it so desperately. So it's about a 20 to 30 minute conversation, and we're going to link to it. You have to start the video at 1 hour and 12 minutes because it's a video of the whole event. You're welcome to watch the whole event if you want. But the thing I think is so important for people to listen to and that I've shared on social media is this 1.5 hour segment of it where we really are inspired. I found it very, very inspiring to remember I am called to a higher way of speaking in the world than the average person because I am Christ's ambassador.
It's really good.
That's the conversation
really
that I've loved this year that I would love other people to watch if you have 20 minutes, 30 minutes. Okay.
Well, and it's that whole thing of like, we really shouldn't be reacting like everyone else, right? I mean, we see it and we don't like it, and yet we find ourselves embroiled in these things sometimes, and we really should do it differently. In fact, I was just reading yesterday. Okay, this is one of my favorite things. Hold on. Okay, so speaking of one of my favorite things this year, I actually found this at a thrift store. It is Henry Nouwen's book called Bread for the Journey. And it's a compilation of a bunch of his writing that is in a devotional format and short format, like for each day. And he had such a beautiful, my devotional yesterday, just a beautiful discussion on gentleness. And he says, once in a while, we meet a gentle person. Gentleness is a virtue hard to find in a society that admires roughness and toughness. A gentle person treads lightly, listens carefully, looks tenderly, and touches with reverence. A gentle person knows that true growth requires nurture, not force. Isn't that beautiful? And I feel like that's such a great word considering what you just said. And really that if we can take on that gentleness of Christ, then our discussions will be different and they will have a different tone to them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that is beautiful. Okay, we're going to link to both of those things in the show notes. Now, Krista, what are you watching on Netflix these days?
Well, this says a lot about me, and it just is what it is. I am and have always been a huge Anne of Green Gables fan. I love Anne of Green Gables. But for the longest time, I would see on Netflix that the new Anne of Green Gables was out, and I refused to watch it because I'm so loyal to the original. And yet I started watching it because I really do like finding stories like that and that are clean. And I love it. And I'll tell you why I love it, because it goes into the psychology more of the characters. And I feel like it's a more realistic picture of, even though I'm still very loyal to the original Anne of Green Gables, it's a more realistic picture of the trauma that Anne experienced because of her upbringing and some of also the hard things in the other characters. And they go into more of the psychology of each character and how the hurt from their past is playing out in their lives, and those, how it impacts their future. And so I actually grew to love it as I was watching it because of those deeper tones of it, that I feel like that's how they modernized the series and they also did it not in a movie format, but actually as like a TV series. So you can watch it as a TV series. But I really, really, really found myself enjoying that different aspect of it.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, I haven't watched it yet because I, again, feel like, why should I watch it when I've seen the beautiful PBS version of Anne of Green Gables that came out when I was a child? Right. That's my favorite childhood book, Anne of Green Gables. So it hasn't even occurred to me to watch it because that loyalty, but I should watch it. And my girls, the one that liked Little Women,
she'd love it.
She'd love it. She would.
I mean, she would love it. And yet you would be intrigued by some of the way that they, I mean, they
deal
portray,
with that.
they portray some like, oh, that was some hard stuff that happened in the orphanage that they didn't really go into in the original, and that creates trauma. So really good.
Yeah.
Okay. How about you?
Okay. Well, this is a little different than Anne of Green Gables. But this winter we watched Cheer on Netflix.
I've been wondering. Yeah. I've been wondering.
So I was a cheerleader in high school. It was nothing like this, I promise. I was all about the outfits and not about the gymnastics. It is probably not for everyone. I will say that it is a little bit salty. The language is not 100% clean. But I would say, given that it is a reality TV show about college kids, it's pretty clean. Because they really, there's a lot of stories going on the side that they're just not focusing on. They really focus in on the competition. And then they start to tell some of the side stories. But what I love about it is the coach, Monica. She is everybody's surrogate mom. And they say that over and over. And she says it over and over. I love these kids like they're my own kids. And you follow a few of the characters throughout the season, and you follow her and her story of a woman who came back to her hometown because she wanted to live close to her family. And she was a businesswoman and could have done anything. And she has decided to do whatever she's doing with excellence. She became the cheer coach at a community college. We're going to be the best in the country. And she's done it.
And they are, right?
And they are.
It's Navarro cheer, right?
Yeah.
And they're just like incredible. And they blow these amazing four-year colleges out of the water.
So the reason I think that it has really touched something, like I've been thinking, why has America been going crazy about this? And typically I don't really care about a show that everybody's talking about, but I got sucked into it and then watched it and loved it. I think it's because of her approach of there are boundaries in life, and if you cross boundaries, there are consequences, and it's up to you to determine how you're going to deal with your circumstances. And for a lot of these young people, they had very hard circumstances, very hard, that you hear about from their childhoods. Parents dying, sexual abuse, drug addiction. And her thing is, okay, that happened and there's some grief there. And you now have agency in your life to make some choices about how you're going to live. And I think we as a culture are hungry for that message that we don't have to be complete victims to our circumstances, and that we can make choices that are healthier for us. And as a mom watching it with my teenage daughter, I had one daughter who was interested in it and one who wasn't. I loved that Monica was giving all of these lessons and I didn't have to say anything. I could just watch the show with her, and here was my daughter absorbing the same things I say, but from somebody else that was way more interesting because she's on a reality TV show. So anyway, that's why I got sucked in and was cheering for cheer.
Doesn't she have a line that she says, "Take your power back"?
Yeah. So there's one situation where she's meeting with some police officers, and one of her cheerleaders, something had happened to her. She was a victim of a crime, but it made her look really bad in the process. And Monica turned to her and said, "It's time for you to take your power back. You can change the narrative of how this goes." I mean, who doesn't love hearing that? Hearing telling a teenager that she can change the narrative here and she can shift the direction that this story goes by her response. So
love it.
Anyway, That's why I love cheer. You got to put up with some cuss words and maybe some hard topics, but they're real life topics.
Right.
And I want to be talking to my kids about those topics. And the show, I think, offers, if they're mature enough to handle it.
Sorry, I didn't know that wasn't silenced.
If they're mature enough to handle the topics, this is a good avenue to get those discussions going.
And would you say you would recommend watching it with your teenager?
Sure. I mean, you have to be ready to talk about some things or to sit there and watch some things that might make you uncomfortable, but it just didn't have a lot of salacious extra that it potentially could have. And I appreciated that about the production. They really could have gone down the grody road and they chose not to.
Yeah. Great. Yeah. Awesome. Okay. How about, Miss Twitter, who are you following? I'm not going to have anything to say on this, but who are you liking on Twitter?
Well, I tend to like all the people I said in the years past. They're still my favorites, but a couple of people this year that I've started following that I like. Heather Thompson Day. She's a fellow Coloradan. She is a professor at Colorado Christian University. And so she has a lot of insights from her conversations with her college students. So I like her. I just like her perspective. She's smart and funny and a mom. And then Matthew Sorens, I think his title is, he's the director of church engagement for World Relief. So he has lots of great information about refugee laws that are changing and immigration laws that are changing. And he often frames things with scripture. So you can understand, like, if you want to read scripture this way, that's why this law change is important, because of what God says about this. So
interesting.
I find him to be helpful.
Okay. How about Instagram?
Sarah Quezada, our friend Sarah, I think she does an amazing job of keeping people up to date on things that are changing quickly around immigration within the context of stories. So you feel like, oh, I'm getting more knowledgeable about what's happening in the country, and I'm gaining empathy because I'm hearing how this impacts real people. So she's one of my favorites on Instagram.
Yeah, love Sarah.
Dr. Doreen Dodgen McGee, who we just had, right?
One of my, yeah.
Dodson?
Okay. Yeah. Say her name again.
Dr. Doreen, who we just had on the podcast for the Healthy Way series. I love her Instagram feed because she is talking about tech use, and usually you're using technology while you're looking at it, and she recognizes that. And so she'll often say, stop, do this instead right now, instead of scrolling through your Instagram. So I find her
interview was definitely one of my favorite things.
Yeah.
But that's of this year. Well, no, we're doing 2020. Never mind. Let me say that again. Dr. Doreen's interview was definitely one of my favorites. Yeah. I loved her interview in the Healthy Way series, Taming the Digital Beast.
Yeah, it was good. So having her pop up in my Instagram feed is good for me. And then lastly, someone I don't know personally, Lori Hatteen, I think is how you pronounce her name. She's what do you call it when you write letters fancy way?
Oh, a hand letter.
She's a hand letter.
Hand letter.
Yes. And I love what she makes. What about you, Krista? What do you like on Instagram right now?
Well, I feel like someone I am loving following is the Peaceful Homestead on Instagram. And she says that she's intentional about peace in the heart and the home. And what I love about her is she's really practical. And so she just gives lots of great tips. And she went through, I think she said a year or two ago, she went through and just really decluttered and got rid of a lot of the mental clutter and physical clutter in her life. And she encourages that. And so she's really a master at organization. And so I always like people who are masters at organization because I can always use help with that. And also what she does, you can just see it's infused with love. Like everything she does, you just feel like, oh, she just really loves well. You can just tell that she does. So I'm really liking her. Her name's Wendy Trigstead from the Peaceful Homestead. And then the other account, I've been in Design Central because we remodeled this year. And one of the accounts I love is called the Hillary Style. And she just has a super clean, fresh look. And she does a lot of how-tos, tutorials. So I like that.
Oh, good. The Hillary Style. Okay. What are you reading right now? What books are you liking?
Well, I finally caught up with the rest of the world and finished Educated.
Yeah. Well, I still haven't read it, but everyone says it's good. I haven't heard one bad thing about it.
You know what I like about Educated that I feel like is so unique is she does a masterful job of it's a memoir, and she is writing about her life, and she really writes about it as if she's that age as she's writing about it. And then she moves through her life, and she doesn't, some memoir comments on that phase of life, like the author will comment on it, but she doesn't. She just allows you to draw your own conclusions. And it's so interesting because you're drawing your own conclusions, this throughout the whole memoir, but it also gives you so much understanding and empathy for how family culture is created and how systems are created and how something so dysfunctional. I mean, I think everyone knows it's about a woman who grew up in Southern Idaho who was really quarantined from the world, and she had a really dysfunctional family and some really traumatic things happen. But you gain so much empathy for how abuse, dysfunction can occur and how that family system is created without someone knowing they may feel that it's off and not normal, but they don't know that it is. And so they come to accept it as what is their life and what is okay. And I just feel like it gave me a lot of empathy for that.
Yeah. Well, wow. Okay. What else? What else are you liking?
And her story is also triumphant. I think one of the things that I would say is that if someone's going through a hard time, it would be a really good read for someone, because it's this whole idea that you can rise. You can rise. You can, like the coach said from Cheer, you can get your power back. Okay. And then we had Jeff Henderson on the podcast in December, and his book 4 has really been one of my favorite reads this year. He is just an incredible human being, and he has a lot of leadership experience. And I think no matter who you're leading, and whether it's an organization or a church or a family, that you could benefit from reading 4. It's just really knowing what you're about and how you message that into the world or into your family or whoever you're leading. And then I've been doing a reread of The Hands-Free Life, which is by, hold on.
Oh no, what is her name?
Rachel Stafford, right? Doesn't she have a middle name too?
She has 3 names.
So The Hands-Free Life by Rachel Macy Stafford is a reread for me, but it's one that I like to go back to. She's a beautiful, beautiful writer. I really, really like her as a writer. And also, again, there's so much heart behind what she says. And so I just love that. And of course, it goes along with Dr. Doreen. And I've really committed to having more reading time this year as a part of my living less digitally and more embodied, is having physical books in my hand, not just I do a lot of Audible, but I've really committed to being a physical book reader this year. So that's one. And then the last one is a book my sister-in-law gave me that I'm super, super excited about. And it's called The Art of Gathering: How We Meet and Why It Matters. And I can't say the author's name. Priya. I think it's Priya. Priya Parker is the author. And it's all about how we can gather in a more intentional and meaningful way, and even has question ideas and gathering ideas. And so I'm not through that book yet, but I'm really excited about it.
Yeah, it sounds like you, like a book.
Okay.
You'd like.
Yes, love it. How about you?
I also am enjoying 4 right now. I'm working through it. I pulled out a couple nights ago Prayers for a Privileged People by Walter Brueggemann. I pull it out every once in a while because I remember a prayer in there that I want to read, and then I remember how much I love the whole book.
Aww.
So that's a good one. And a good old faithful is The Spiritual Disciplines Handbook by Adele Calhoun. Kind of back to the basics. And if you want practical ideas on, say, I know I want more quiet, or I know I want to do some meditation or some more prayer, but I don't know where to begin, it's just full of ideas of where to begin. It's really practical. So I love that book.
Mm-hmm. I haven't read it, so I need to get that one. I think I'd like that.
It is a handbook. It's not like something you usually sit down and read cover to cover, but you use it more as a resource when you're looking for ideas in a certain area.
Okay.
Okay.
Great.
And let's end with some favorite recipes. What
Woohoo!
are you cooking?
One of my favorite topics.
Yeah.
Well, okay. I've been doing a lot of curry lately. I've been really into curry. I just have been loving it. And I've been ordering, well, I told you that before. I've been ordering that special curry off Amazon.
Mm-hmm.
And it really does make a difference. But I've been making a lot of the massaman curry. Have you had that very much?
No.
So delicious.
I like curry. My husband does not like curry.
Oh, bummer.
I know. But tell me, what makes something a massaman curry?
Well, okay, I will say that I also really am liking, I know I'm probably not saying these exactly correctly, but the massaman curry and then the Penang curry. And the Penang curry is delicious, and it doesn't taste like yellow curry. And so for people who don't like yellow curry, you may like these other curries. So don't give up on curry. I'm saying don't give up on curry, because it really does taste different than the yellow. So maybe try it. try it and see if he likes it. But you can try it first at a Thai restaurant
Mhm.
and then just see, like you order it and then just see if he likes it. Then you can make it at home.
Yeah, yummy.
So I've been loving that. And I'll link to a couple of recipes that I really like. And then I also the other day made a big thing of monkey bread with the boys. It's actually on my birthday, and I wanted them to cook with me. And so I wanted to make something I knew they would love. And so we did monkey bread, and I have a really great recipe for it. And it was so great and so fun. And of course, they really loved it, loved
Mhm.
eating it.
Mhm. Who doesn't love
Yeah.
monkey bread?
I know. And then we gave some away too. And that was fun.
Mhm. Well,
Okay.
the only thing that comes to mind as far as something new that I'm cooking, I am trying to cook gluten-free, so that's been
Right.
interesting. But the Instant Pot pork shoulder roast, I like the Instant Pot for a roast. It's
Yes.
fast and it tends to stay moist.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been doing that lately, and it has a little bit of that tender pork, pulled pork feel without it being pulled pork saucy, if that makes sense.
Yes.
So that's been something I've done recently a few times that I have liked.
Great. Love
Yeah.
it. Well, this is always a fun episode. I love running through some of our tops, some of our
Things
top
we
things
love.
we're loving.
And we want to know what things you love. So
Yes.
please go into the comments on the show notes and share tips, recipes, gifts, all of these things that you love and you think other sisters would love.
Well, and on Instagram. So let's, when we put this up, we're going to put some questions in stories and respond to us on there. And then we'll post in stories some of the things that you guys say are your favorites. And then we can just all share in this fun Valentine's favorite things episode.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we love you, sisters.
Yes, we do. We're so grateful for you. Happy Valentine's Day.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.